Hi, friends. This is Wendy Harrop, and welcome to the Say Yes to Yourself podcast. On the Say Yes to Yourself podcast, you'll hear stories from women just like us who are adding the practice of saying yes in their daily lives in big and small ways, and as a result, are experiencing the truth that everybody wins when you say yes to yourself. Saying yes to yourself is a graceful unfolding, an intentional becoming of the very best version of you. It is my hope that in these conversations, we are able to find our truth and be inspired and empowered to live our very best lives. I'm so excited to go on this journey with you, and I look forward to finding a bit of our own story in each other's. Hello, my friend. Welcome back to the podcast. I'm so happy to have you here. It's been so much fun these past weeks since I've been home from France. I know I keep telling you it has been a flurry of activity. It continues to be a flurry of activity. I just spent the most glorious few days with our very own Shannon Warner, the producer of this podcast. I almost said fabulous podcast. It is a fabulous podcast, but she is the fabulous producer of it. We were at a wonderful event over the weekend in Boston with book thinkers, which is where so many of our wonderful guests come from. And it was wonderful to be with her, to think about what 2026 is going to look like for us. And we calendared so many fabulous things for you to be a part of as listeners to this podcast, but also if you are wanting to come and do a solo retreat at the Phineas Wright House, we have that all set up for you. I'm going to be doing a series of really fun, entertaining with ease virtual classes. So if you're local, you can come sit at the kitchen island while I do it. But if not, we'll be live on Zoom, and I'm going to teach you how to host a tree trimming party, how to create some beautiful holiday food gifts, how to host a cookie exchange, how to host New Year's Eve, all of my favorite things. And I'm going to be doing them in real time with you because the party will be just a couple of days later. So it's going to be such a great time, and it will feel like you are in my kitchen at the Phineas Wright House, which is what I really want. And having you here on the podcast is the second best thing. I am so delighted to share today's guest with you. She's really fun. She's so fabulous, and she has created something phenomenal out of a very heart-wrenching event in her life. So today we have Michelle Hensley, and when her husband passed away suddenly, she was left alone at age 50 with no idea how she was going to provide for her family. Her previous life as a pastor's wife had not prepared her for the financial pressure she now faced. She had to start over, and that's when she discovered the opportunity to turn her love for creativity into a business. What started as a desperate attempt to keep afloat has now grown into Nifty Package Company, the #1 mobile gift wrapping service in the US. Today, she is proud to share the exact blueprint that helped her achieve success in her new book, Master the Business of Mobile Gift Wrapping, where creativity meets convenience. This book is full of wonderful tips and tricks, and she coaches you all along the way. She also has so many fabulous resources on her website. We've linked everything down in the show notes, but I mean, you will hear my enthusiasm. She made me want to start yet another business in my free time. So I know you are going to love celebrating with her, her brave, courageous yes. And it might just have your heart lean to a next yes of your own. So please enjoy this inspiring conversation with Michelle Hensley. Beautiful Michelle. I've already decided this is going to be a delightful conversation. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, it's a pleasure, Wendy. Thank you for having me on. And just your story is so enticing as well. Just you have a lot of fun things and challenges as well. So I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, my pleasure. And isn't it fun how we can just find elements of our own story in each other's?
I think so. It's amazing how you can definitely connect instantly. It's incredible. And I think it's a huge blessing. It's something that women can do very well and connect over things that are life stories, our life story. So,
Right? It's so true. And we know what that feels like. And it's this beautiful, energetic exchange. Just like when you get in line at the grocery store, if the cashier is having a good day or a bad, like you can feel that energy. And I love this podcast so much because I am only having fabulous conversations with fabulous women. It's just the best thing ever.
it's such a great invention because when you think about it, you get to hear stories that you wouldn't necessarily read about because not everything is going to be printed. And then also, if you're busy, you can put a podcast on and listen and relate to that story or be inspired by it.
Right. While you're on a walk or doing chores or whatever you're doing. I couldn't agree more. It's so fun and fabulous. And I want to hear about your podcast too. But first, I would love to ask you, because I think I forgot in my last interview, how are you saying yes to yourself in this season?
Well, I think it's embracing where I'm at in terms of, I work a lot like you and accepting that that's okay, especially that in my age. So I'm 61. I have 9 grandchildren. And I think, also I am not married. So I get the opportunity to say yes to myself, go to dinner where I want. I can watch a movie if I want. I can get up early like I do and pray if I want. I can do what I want. So I think saying yes is that. And then saying no to other things so that I can say yes to certain.
I love that so much. And I agree. There are privileges to creating the life that you desire and being the only one that lives in your house.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
mean, we've had some things happen to us that were unfortunate. We have made decisions that are in alignment for us. And I mean, I'll speak for myself. It's a pretty good gig. Like, I am co parenting my beautiful, fabulous unicorn of an 11-year-old daughter. And I have 3 weekends a month that she's with her dad and 1 week a month that she's with her dad. So I can focus all of my attention on what's happening on the property or what's happening in my business or if I'm in France or something. And I know that she's safe and she's taken care of. So I'm not, people will ask me, oh, are you sad because Amelia's not here this week? Nope. I'm like getting so much done. Like, watch out for that Instagram because I'm actually going to have time to post because I'm not driving 2.5 hours
Right.
for school or stopping to make dinner and all of these things. And I think we can bloom where we're planted and we can create joy and find joy in whatever situation that we find ourselves in.
Right.
And even in when I first meet someone or I see somebody, I just had some friends come stay that I knew in California, and they didn't know that I was divorced. And when I told them, they were like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. And like anybody that hears that, my immediate correction is congratulations, because congratulations. Like, they don't need to be sorry. We're both living our much better lives outside of being in the same house than we were together. And Amelia is having a brilliant experience because we are happy. So all of these good things can come even if it doesn't look like what some storybook said it was supposed to look like.
Right. And I just don't think, I think that's so true. We can live in a fantasy life. And, but I think if the truth is, we have to know that and then be okay with those, other choices that somebody might make. And um, it is hard being a widow, especially when you first become a widow. I think after that, you embrace your singleness, you embrace the positive side of that. And like, okay, I have freedom. I'm not married. I don't have to worry about that. And I'm also an empty nester. So my kids are all out, everyone's doing well, and all my grandchildren are doing well. So it's like I heard you say something on one of the podcasts this morning, and it was building your life you want by saying yes to yourself. And so I thought, gosh, that was just a great statement. And you truly also take personal responsibility when you are by yourself. You can't blame someone else. It'd be nice to blame someone else, but the truth is that's maturity. You own it. Okay, this didn't go well. What did I learn? What am I learning? What can I change? Or, whatever. But yeah.
Right. That's so beautiful. And it's true, it's a decision. And you're not negating your beautiful marriage. You're not negating the grief associated with losing your husband. I'm not negating the grief associated with losing my marriage, not losing my marriage, whatever, having it not be what I thought it was going to be, or whatever you call it. I don't know. I obviously don't practice that sentence. But even my mom, when my dad passed away during COVID, she loves him and she loved him. And she packed up that house and sold a whole bunch of stuff and said, "Come and get it, because I'm not keeping any of these things." And she, whatever fit in her car, she took it to my brother's and lives in a little cottage and is so delighted that she does not have to ask permission of anybody to do anything that she wants or doesn't want to do. And there's so much free, and it doesn't mean that she doesn't miss my dad. It
Right.
just means she's just living the life she has.
Yes, I think that's quite an interesting topic I've not ever talked about yet. And all these years, and it is the expectations that others might have on your difficulty. And you're still unaware of a lot of it, but at the same time, you have to make decisions that people are not going to agree with. It happens all the time. But for widows, it's not talked about because there's this unspoken expectation that you should be sad for the rest of your life, or you should, like you said, have to be with someone in order to be whole. Do I think that, life was designed to be with a partner in marriage? Yes, I do. But there are many who do fine without it. And you like yourself. I like myself. So I have no problem being alone. I have no problem going and having dinner by myself. In the beginning, it was difficult because I was so used to cooking for a large family and I love serving. So when I wasn't needed to serve anymore, I think I went through I don't want to say depression because I really wasn't depressed, but a hard time coping. And one time, one of my sons came over and he's like, "Mom, your refrigerator's not very full. Where it used to be packed, with things because I cooked all the time." And then I thought, you know what? I need to start cooking and I'm for myself. Cook now instead of cooking a meal for 9, you're going to cook a meal for 1. Just figure it out. So then once I adjusted, and then yeah, I'm happy with myself. So because of that, then you're going to enjoy your days and do what your mom did. I did the same.
Yeah.
I sold my house after I think a year and a half. I don't recommend anyone doing major life changes the first year, but I did the same. I started cleaning things out. I took that time to organize and go through certain things. And sometimes people want you to keep their clothes. It's like,
I mean, everyone gets to do whatever they need to do, and everybody else can keep their opinions to themselves. Either come over here and help me or talk about me in some other room, but I am not available for this.
Yeah.
My mom did all of that during COVID. She did it in 5 weeks.
Oh, bless her.
Just was a relatively quick situation, but she was like, no, that, and also because it was COVID, it was like either act quickly or
Yeah.
just be here in this I don't even know what her options.
Yeah. It was a sad time. So,
But I just love that everyone gets to do whatever they want. I had a dear friend that he's a widower and we chat all the time, multiple times a day. And I found out that he was dating somebody after 6 months of him dating. And of course, I'm elated and so excited. And he's like, oh, okay, I wasn't sure. I just don't talk about it because when I showed a picture to my sister in law, she was sad that the woman in the picture was not her sister. And so, of course, like he internalized that he shouldn't tell people that he's dating. I mean, it's just so sweet. But we either hear things differently than they're being said, or we decide that that's what everybody is thinking.
it's going, it goes back to an expectation. And actually, biblically, that's good to remarry and it's good to date. And again, we are designed to be in relationships. So good for him. And I think
Yeah.
men have a tendency to want to be with someone, probably more so than a woman might. I don't know that that's always true, but generally it's bound to be more along those lines where that's so sad because we have this false narrative where we think they should be single for a long period of time so everyone else can adjust. Well, it's
Right,
not
a
about
quote unquote
them.
appropriate amount of time. It's like
Yeah.
who is making these rules?
Uh-huh.
And are there even rules or do we just think there are and we're limiting ourselves?
Right. Well, it's like you have to wear white in the summer and you can't wear white in the winter. It's like you can look beautiful in whatever you want any day of the week. You can wear a sweater in 90 degrees if you want, or whatever you want. I think, it's just wrong expectations. And I think expectations can ruin relationships. And that's where people need to just, pay attention to themselves. And we're also good at judging. We're so good at it. It's like a gift. So we have to learn to pull it in. Where am I thinking right or wrong? Yeah, it's very interesting.
Oh my gosh. Well, I didn't even intend to have that whole conversation.
I think it was needed because I was like, where do I go with this with her and who needs to hear what? And sometimes it's more about those difficult days and the expectations people have on you, you know?
Yes. Yes.
Good
So what else do
conversation.
you want to say about that? Because I want to hold space for you.
Well, first of all, thanks again for having me, Wendy. I think for me, it would be encouraging women over the age of 50 with a complete background. For me, I was a pastor's wife. I don't know if you know my story, but
I didn't know you were a pastor's wife. My mother is a pastor's wife.
oh, wow. Seriously?
Yeah, so that's why she like packed up, left the church,
Yeah.
moved away, all the things.
People don't realize how hard that is. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I was a pastor's wife. I was running a local nonprofit, feeding the working poor, homeschooling my children. I was that 70% of women who really was about my family and the community. And so I thought that was going to be my story for the rest of my life. I basically dug in and that was it. And so I was also a counselor, so I'm very well educated. I have two master's degrees, and but everything I did was pro bono. I gave it away, gave food away, gave training away. I did speaking, but to women in the church, and I
Right, because your reward is in heaven.
right. I mean, it was giving and generosity. It's just how my life was. And I ran a nonprofit. So I started that with $5 in an envelope and grew that to
Wow.
feed 73,000 people a year. So I had
Wow.
experience, but that was just raising what was needed in my local community, because we went through such a hard time in the 2000s. It started in 2005 for the general population, the hardship and the recession. So people needed food. And so then in 2012, I was counseling with a doctor and his wife, and my husband said, "Hey, I have a mole growing and it seems to be growing out of control. Can you look at it?" So he did a pathology on it the next day and came back stage 3 metastatic melanoma.
Oh.
And then within 30 days, it went to stage 4. And then over the next, and here I am, I have a very strong faith. So I'm up every day reading the Bible, seeking the Lord. And I am thinking, okay, we're people of faith. He's going to survive. Not thinking of the reality of hardship, although we both experienced it, but it was a run. So for the next 2 years, chemo, holistic health, all the things we could possibly do. And then we had 7 children together. We have 4 from his first wife who passed away from the same cancer.
Oh my word.
Yeah, it was pretty sad. And so I still had 2 kids to launch at home that I was homeschooling. Anyway, so now, you're helping run the church, and then next your husband has passed away. And how do you navigate all of that? And the associate pastor is rising up. And the truth is that was the right thing. They needed to take care of the church and I needed to pull back. And so, but all of the loss, that you experience, I'm sure your mom did it as well. I'm no longer a pastor's wife. I'm no longer an executive director for a nonprofit. My stipend ends in a year. I have no income. Like, everything hits you at the same time. So, I want to say a year, I had the nonprofit for another year, for that year, 2015. He passed in 2014. And here I am, 51 years old, facing uncertain times because I did not have the income. So I also didn't even know how to pay a bill online. I would shake driving my car. I was so nervous because I was free in terms of my marriage. Like, I knew all the boundaries and all the stuff. Now I know everything's wide open to me. So how do I handle all this? And a lot of expectations from the congregation that I would never meet. I just didn't know how to meet
They
their.
had those before he died also, by the way.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, that is a rough role.
Yeah. So, in 2015, I had a gal who was a volunteer at the nonprofit, and she said, "Michelle, I know you need to." A couple of things simultaneously went on, kind of like your story, where because I didn't know how to handle the financial side, I had to learn to master that. Right. So I hired a finance coach, and I did all this at the same time. Yeah. To come in and tell me what to do, because I'd already given some money to an advisor and lost thousands of dollars on that decision because I didn't know what I was doing. And there was no education out there. It's very limited for widows. So I hired this finance coach, and he said, "Why don't you become a counselor again?" I told him, "I don't want to be a counselor anymore. That's not my gift." And and after the grief process, you change. Like, you become a different person. You're very different because now everything's turned upside down. So anyway, what I did do is he said, "Well, why don't you think about becoming a coach?" And so I said, "What is a coach? I don't even know." And he said, "Well, go do the research and come back." So I went and I did the research on what it means to be a coach. And I came back to him and I said, "This is for me." I homeschooled all my children. They're all in successful careers. I made them write mission statements from 12 years old on, and letters to their children, my grandchildren.
Oh, awesome.
And they get so frustrated with me but when they have baby showers and I get to read those stories, they just are flipped over that I made them stay on task. So I took the board certification test for life, grief, and finance coaching. And that helped a lot. I created classes for widows. So this is the next year, 2015. And then I was asked to interview for a job. So I went and interviewed. So I'm doing, that's the path I'm on currently. And now I still have to have a job because I don't have any income.
Right.
So created all the classes, started teaching at the local college, but that was
But
$30.
wait, were you, yes, you were charging for these things, but not enough.
Yeah, I was not enough to make an income at all. It was because, I would do it at night. And this was practical skills for widows. So when loss happens, how do I transition to a financial advisor? So I helped bridge that gap so that they wouldn't do what I did and they would learn, they'd have skills. So did that. And then went to this interview, and this gentleman said, Michelle, you'll be working 60 hours a week and you're going to be on call 24 hours a day because we're a 5-star rehabilitation center. There's about 300 staff. And so you'll be managing all that. And I just got tunnel vision. I thought, oh my gosh, I don't have a problem with the work ethic. That's not an issue. But the issue is I still have 2 kids to launch that have been very affected by the loss of their dad. So,
And that was the set expectations that were actually spoken, which meant you were
yes,
really going to be working 92 hours a week
probably.
and you were on call 36 hours a day. And
Pretty much. Yes. And it's like, oh my gosh, this is going to, our vision and my husband's and mine, this isn't aligning with what I'm hearing. So I'm driving home that day from that interview. And I thought, Lord, there has to be a way I can start a business where I can work when I want and can creatively versus have to. And I love the Uber business model. So is there something I can do along those lines? And I had been in the workforce for 14 and a half years. So I was like, have no idea what I'm thinking. I just know that that's what I was wanting. So I had a why. And then I got home that day and I told my son what had happened. And he said, well, Mom, you had a gift basket business when you were young. Why don't you start that up again? And so I said, that is a great idea. I said, hey, gals, my sister, my friend, my daughter-in-law were all there. And I said, what do you guys think if we learn to work from home and then we come together with projects and learn how to master this? Is everyone on board? And they're like, yes. So their Nifty was formed in October of 2015. And we decided to master working at home and doing the remote skills that it would take to build a business. And so, but that still wasn't income for me. So I did that for a year. And then the next year I went to work full time in the financial services space to create an actual income. But we learned skills on how to work remote. And then I would attend meetings in terms of networking and trying to grow my business. And gosh, I was so nervous. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't understand cost of goods. I didn't understand making a profit. I did not have a merchant mindset. I had a ministry mindset. So I had to really work to change that.
yes.
Didn't really know I had that problem. So then that built, and then in 2018, I was praying. I'm up every day at 3:30, 3:45, seeking God. And I'm looking out my window and I see my van sitting there. And I'm thinking, gosh, that van isn't being used all the time. I can deliver gifts, I can pick up supplies, but it's still taking up half the day or more.
Sure.
So I thought, gosh, I already make gifts. I wonder if anybody wraps gifts. Like, does anyone drive to someone's home and wrap gifts? So I put up a webpage that day, and I have a tendency to launch, then learn, which can
Oh,
be
I love that about you.
can be
Me
positive or
too.
negative. You too? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. How do I know if I want to keep doing this? I won't know unless I
I
do
can
it.
dream or I can do, or I can
That's
dream
right.
and do.
That's right. I could dream this morning and do this afternoon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So
Yeah. We're trouble, you and I.
it's true. So I put up the webpage. I got a call within about 4 or 5 days from one of my current clients on the gift basket side. And he said, Michelle, I hate wrapping gifts. Can you wrap all my gifts? I was so excited. I put all my supplies in the van, drove over there, and really I didn't know what I was doing. Um, that's why it's not always about mastering your craft in terms of selling your craft. It is, why are you doing what you're doing? And then, you know, there are things you have to figure out, of course, along the way, but I mean, you pivoted yourself, because if you were a
Yeah.
wedding planner and then you turned florist or
Oh,
harvester or whatever you would
yeah,
call
not
it,
even a florist. I just grow them for the
yes,
florist.
it's so incredible. So, I wrapped all his gifts and I stood back and I forgot to label the gifts. So I had to rewrap every single gift. But
So
I
now
learned.
you can say, after 100 gifts, I know what I'm doing.
Exactly. So then that was 2018. Then in 2019, I got a call from Too Faced Cosmetics. They're a little bit of an edgy makeup brand, and asked if I would do a design for them and a fulfillment service. And so they loved my design, which is my favorite part of what I do. And that started my first full large scale fulfillment service. So we received all the items, sorted, wrapped, and shipped for them. And then that was phenomenal. I loved it. And then, so keep in mind that I'm working full time and I'm training the staff and we're doing all this. Well, I'm doing this at night or early in the morning.
So explain just a little bit about the gift. These were the gift boxes or the wrapping.
They're both. So the fulfillment side. So the gift basket is completely different. And then this is the gift wrapping and fulfillment service that we do. It's called kitting and gift wrapping.
So if I have I have a makeup brand and I have clients, then when they order, you're the middle person
Mm-hmm.
that gets them. Oh my gosh. My friend Cindy, she's a founder of a nonprofit, and every time we're trying to launch something to do, she always says, I do not want to be Cindy in shipping. So it's so great because you're Michelle in shipping.
Yeah,
It's so good.
that's exactly right.
I'm with you.
So we receive all the product and we sort it, we ship it, we put the notes in, beautiful tissue, all of that, and then we ship it out either to the store or to the client and or their recipient. And then that next end of the summer, so that was March, we got about 1 million hits on their Instagram, Too Faced Instagram. And then that summer, I get a call from the Kardashian estate manager. Okay, keep in mind, I don't even have a TV. I don't know who anybody is. I don't follow entertainment news. And I told my sons, I said, hey, I got a call from Kardashian estate manager. Their mom, they're the #2 influencers under Trump. You have to do the shop. So I take my team out to their house in Calabasas. And this is Kanye and Kim at that time. And she did not like anything I did. And keep in mind, she's very kind and very sweet, despite what the
Sure.
media might tell you she is.
I
So,
don't watch it either, so I don't know.
yeah, yeah. So, I walk outside. This is when I transitioned from pastor's wife, mom, grandparent to business person, business owner. I walk, she didn't like anything I did. So I walk outside. I'm like, Lord, you brought me here. I've got 7 people with me on my team, her team, and I'm not going home without a sale. That's not happening. So I walk in and I said, does anybody have any fabric? And I did a fair shogi wrap, a Japanese wrap, and she loved it. So that launched me into the celebrity work. And now I wrap for several celebrities and a lot of high-end companies. At that time, I started launching, I would get requests from universities. How did I start this? And would I give them the information? And it's like, I wasn't ready yet. We were expanding nationwide. So I'd get calls from New York, calls from Florida, calls from Texas on doing gift wrapping. And I thought, you know what? We're just going to teach people how to wrap and work for Nifty or work for themselves. And so I launched my training. So that's kind of how now I'm the largest mobile gift wrapping business in the nation.
You're so smart.
No, I just did the work. I had to
Good
learn along the
job.
way. Yeah. So that's kind of my story. And I want women over 50 to know that they can do this, even if you don't have the resources, even if you don't think you can do it, you can. And I'm launching an app where it's kind of like TaskRabbit, but for creatives. So it's not home repair, it's going to be home decorating. It's going to be, small florists. It's going to be cooking food at home or grocery shopping. And it's not, it's somebody that you can hire up the street to do the work. They're not, so it's like that'll be launching probably in the next 2 months, but
That's so exciting.
it's very cool. And so, we get asked, this is what happens. I'll get asked, Michelle, can you wrap my gifts? Okay. Can you put the lights on my tree? Hey, could you put the lights on my house? Or do you know someone who can do that? Can you help me do a party? So it's all going to be related to event services and around that. And that's going to give the small creative the opportunity to do what they do best versus an electrician or painter.
Oh my
So,
gosh, I love this. I have so many people to send your way
yes,
to be in your network. How are you? I have a question about Nifty too, but I want to ask about the app. How are you vetting or inviting people to be in this network? Because it's kind of sounds like it's, for an antiquated like Angie's List, but not for contractors or like you said, TaskRabbit. How is this going to work?
it's going to be a long task rabbit. Well, it's going to be, I'll do my best to vet. But the truth is, you're not going to know until they're out doing their business because
Sure.
it's going to be their own personal, they get rated. So if they do a good job, they're going to get a 5 star. If they do a poor job, they're going to get a 1 star. So it's going to be more, it's like a meritocracy kind of app where they get vetted themselves. And so so training them ahead of time. Listen, you want to do a good job because this is about you. And then I'm highly considering, it's like a 95% where they're not charged, the creative. It's the person who's hiring the creative that gets the charge. So that way they keep all their money. I think that's the negative with the TaskRabbit type of situation where they take the money from the contractor when they're not making very much money.
Right.
So, and right now people need to make an income.
Right. The mindset of the creative and the conditioning and our culture, what it says about creative people, that that's for the weekends or the whole starving artist
Yeah.
concept and all of these things. And you're giving them the opportunity to step into a more abundant mindset
Mhm.
by also preemptively managing what the what the resistance is. I'm not going
Yeah.
to make enough money, or it's too much work, or whatever.
Yeah. And I think right now, especially women over 50, it's a great opportunity to use skill sets that we've earned all our years. It's like, I have no problem if someone says, hey, Michelle, can you come and set my table? Or can you come and, chop all the carrots? Like, they're small jobs, but they can earn some money. And why not? Like, Uber does it.
And we've been doing it for free for
Oh,
decades.
my
So
word.
why not get paid for it and
Yeah.
appreciated by a person who didn't have to do it themselves and think that everything you do is magic?
Right. Right.
Yeah, it's why I'm doing everything I'm doing.
You can order cookies or you can order all these things, but somebody can come in and bake your cookies.
Right.
And then I'm also launching luxury gift wrap experiences. What that is it's a beautiful box made, the box itself is a regular box, but inside they're all beautiful fashion forward gift wraps where it's all American made. Um, and it has a mood board in there to where I'll tell you the start of it was for the GOP ladies because their fashion is so beautiful. And I just created a Pinterest board um, with all this fashion. It's just so expensive and I bootstrapped everything. So I have to manage my money incredibly well. So I said, I woke up in the middle of the night. I'm like, okay, I am going to create fashion experiences on the gift wrap side. So everyone's, you've got Ralph Lauren, you have all these Hermes, you've got all these beautiful brand names, but I'm going to take that look and create a gift wrap experience. So I created fair shogi wraps, beautiful paper for the designs of the clothing, and beautiful note cards. So it's a full experience, and then they get a URL, a code on the mood board to take them to a video of all the gift wrapping so they can either give this as a gift or they can receive it as a gift. And there's only going to be so many that are made. And then we'll do another.
Limited edition. We love a limited edition.
So they turned out beautifully. My team thought I was out of my mind, I think, in the beginning when I brought it to them.
Right?
But
Because it's a gift of gift wrap.
It's
And
very different.
some people don't get it, and some people are like, "Oh my gosh, like I don't even want to wrap a gift with it. I just want to have it. Like I don't
Yeah.
even want I'm going to save all these elements that are my favorite and just give the other things to the person I'm wrapping the present for."
It's really cool. Yeah. So we're doing that. And then once I brought that to the team in January, then I got a call the next week. Okay, I'm a small business in Southern California hanging on in terms of it's so costly here.
Yeah.
And the taxes and all the crazy things. But this is where I feel I'm called. So for now, anyway, for this season. So that next Tuesday, I get a call from the State Department, the gift protocol, the White House, and they asked me to do a design for the new administration, the President of the United States, First Lady, VP Vance, Second Lady, and Secretary of State. Now, whatever people's political aspirations or beliefs are, it didn't matter. That's the highest in the land.
They're sending gifts. Let's
Oh my
wrap them.
gosh, yes. And I would have supported Obama's administration or whoever. I have no um feeling towards that. I was very honored. So we went to work, created designs. I looked at all their personalities and created designs for each one of them. And we ended up winning that job. So we are now the vendor and the designer for the White House. Yeah,
Congratulations.
so that's very cool. So I guess my point is, so if you're over 50 and you don't know anything, you can do this or
You
something
know
like it.
so much.
You learn from all your mistakes and pray you survive.
Right? Right? And we get to also flip the narrative of you don't know what you're doing because you do know and you've mastered it. I think what happened for me, because I would always say also, like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just making this up. I'm just doing what feels good. But I think what happened is the things that I excel at were not appreciated or valued, and they weren't happening in the marketplace. So it made me belittle the impact because how I felt belittled that it wasn't a big deal. Like, this isn't a job, this is just a wife. But thank you, Jesus, for Martha Stewart, who has monetized
Yes,
homemaking and lifestyle and done it like a boss that she is.
right.
And I love that.
I
And it
agree.
is a thing. And we do get to make money being great at what we are. And so we might not know what we're doing as far as running a business yet, but guess what? There are people that do that can work for me. And I'll make all the money wrapping presents. And you guys can roll your eyes and I will laugh myself all the way to the bank.
When I first started, just the whole remote thing, we were already set up for that. So we didn't have to figure out what to do. We were already doing it. So it's like, that was just a blessing in disguise.
Oh, and I just love that you looked outside the window and saw your van. And instead of seeing, like, oh my gosh, what has my life become that I own a van and there's not even people to take it anymore? You're like, wait a minute, what can I put in the van? Like, this is
Uh-huh.
brilliant. I'm like, and plus your energy, it's making me think, like, ooh, maybe I'm going to work for you too. Like, that's
You
so
should do
fun.
your own. I have created a class. People can license the name
Oh, it's so brilliant.
to run their own business. And
That's the money. Good job.
it's a 30% market because it doesn't exist. I created a niche and I'm trying to encourage women, start your own business. It's very profitable. And, you can learn the skill of wrapping the gift. Where I come in is the business of gift wrapping.
Right.
And so
So
they,
someone can be, they can have a Nifty franchise.
yeah, it's a license, not a
Oh,
franchise.
okay.
I was going
I
to
don't know what the
franchise.
difference is. Sorry.
It's very expensive to franchise. It's costly for the franchisor, but it is a needed franchise. It's still $100,000 to start the franchise. I have everything trademarked, everything's ready to go. So what I decided to do was license. And what that is I'll train them how to run their business, give them all the skills they need, and then they can say they're Nifty certified. So it's like a Starbucks and a Target.
Right.
So if you have your business, especially a flower shop, anybody who does flower shops should have this for their off seasons, because holiday, you're not as busy as you are during other times. So it's like, this is a great side hustle. Um, anyway, so adding this on to an existing business is huge, huge. And it's a 30% growth because it doesn't exist. And now it's a groundswell because people are shipping. They're not going to the malls like they used to. They're shipping everything to their house. And then so that helps you come in and do the work that you need to do. But then you can also hire people to help you. So that gives them opportunity for work as well.
Oh my gosh. It's so cool. I did this for, I had a family do a farm stay over the holidays, and they were traveling internationally. So
Oh,
I
cool.
just told them, have all of your gifts shipped here, and I'll wrap them, and they'll be under the tree the day you arrive. And, give me a list of what's from Santa so I don't put it under the tree and it comes out whenever it needs to come out, and all the things. I had so much fun wrapping the presents and using my ridiculously large stash of wrapping paper, which now I'm so glad, because
Yeah.
if I finally use
Right.
all of this, I can buy more, which is so fun. But it was so fun, and they paid me by the hour, and at first they were like, "Oh, that's a little expensive." I'm like, "Well, I you don't want to do this."
Labor intensive.
Yeah, and it took me 7 hours to wrap all of their presents. And at first they were like, "Ooh, okay." But then when they got there, we're like, "Oh my gosh, these are the most
Mm-hmm.
beautiful presents we've ever seen." And they were able to be present for their vacation and not
Right.
wrapping. I
Having to
mean,
do
what
it.
were they going to do? Go to Target on the 23rd of
Mm-hmm.
December and buy a bunch of ugly wrapping paper because the good one's already been bought, and then be in their guest room and then asking me for scissors. And I mean, it was ridiculous. So I'm so glad. And I'm so
And look at
excited.
the service.
I'm gonna get licensed by you. This is
You should, because you're clear across the United States.
Mhm.
I mean, that's the thing is people are, don't realize again the opportunity that they have, because the gift wrapping doesn't just happen on the holidays. It can happen with event gifts or, small gifts. And so we're in Canada, we're working in India, a lot of things. Dubai, I've been requested by Dubai. So it's like people need, this is a needed thing. And yeah, so it's all exciting.
Oh my gosh. This is so cool, Michelle. You're so cool.
Thank you. I appreciate it. You're the same. I mean, I love your story. It's
Thank
like,
you. It's
I
so
think there's a
fun.
lot of women out there like us,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a matter of just reviving a dream that maybe they've had and they don't know what to do or how to do it. And they are a creative. I'm not saying if you aren't creative, you can't learn to be creative. I, you know, I can train skill.
Yeah.
Um, the if you have a business mind, you can learn to wrap gifts. And if you don't want to wrap them, you can start wrapping and then hire someone to wrap with you later. But it is one of those things that, and then you just want to do it right. If you want to be able to charge higher prices, that's where I come in, because some people, well, they don't want to charge money for the gift wrap. But just like you said earlier, there is value in
Mm-hmm.
that.
Mm-hmm.
And there is value in their time and their creativity. And I think you nailed it with Martha Stewart monetizing home economics.
It's so good. Oh my gosh. I have loved this conversation. It will not be our last. I'm so excited to be in your orbit. Please tell everyone where they can find and follow you, how they can learn about all of your magical things. It's so good.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Michelle M. Hensley, they have to put the M in there.com is where you can learn all about the courses and you can get a free book, as well as, just the blog. I'm adding to the blog all the time, but it's fairly new because, this is new since last October. So that's why it's like, man, people have to get on it because holiday is going to be around the corner. Next thing would be niftypackage.co is the actual business. So we are luxury high-end gift baskets where everything, handwritten notes, it's a bit, very well packaged and we are used by top clients. I have a YouTube channel. So I talk about how to create profitability in a gift basket business as well as gift wrapping. And then I have on there great women who have done well through their business, sold businesses, are generally over the age of 50. But it's just to inspire an age group, that you still have it.
Oh my gosh. Not only do you have it, but it's wrapped up very beautifully.
Thank you. Gosh, Wendy, what a treat.
I love it. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed that conversation as much as I did. As always, any links or notes mentioned can be found at phineaswrighthouse.com in the podcast section of our site or in the show notes below. And if you haven't connected with me personally, come find me on Instagram at Phineas Wright House and let me know you listened to this episode. I'd love to get to know you. Thank you for sharing this time with me. I know your days are full, and I'm really grateful that you chose to spend some of your precious time right here. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss any of these delightful conversations. I'll see you next week.